Good evening, Gary Smith. Thank you for joining us after this disappointing defeat, has to be said, at home to Hednesford Town. Frustrating this afternoon, I think, is one of the words you could use. There's a few more colourful ones that you've mentioned off air. We just weren't able to put the ball in the back of the net, despite several good opportunities today.
Yeah, it was, there was a few opportunities that went begging across the Hednesford box, especially in the second half. Jordan Clements come close a couple of times in the first half. If I'm going to be honest, I don't think either side did enough today to win the game. Jazz hasn't been troubled. I don't think we troubled their keeper either. The game looked like it had 0-0 written all over it. Frustration, obviously, to go down 1-0 at the end. But I've told the boys in there to leave the changing room with their heads held high. It's an absolutely baking hot day today, and they've put an absolute shift in over 90 minutes. 2 games in 2 days in this heat. You can't ask for more than what the players have given today.
We've ultimately gone down to a penalty, and it seemed a contentious decision for the handball against Jordan Goff as the ball was crossed in. We were all preparing for the corner, and next thing you know, it's given us a penalty, and it was converted by the substitute, and we've lost.
Let's just say a very strange decision, because 5 minutes earlier there was a blatant handball in the centre of the park. The player that handballed it for Hednesford was already on a yellow. The ref hasn't done anything about it. He's let that go, and then we go down the other end, and from where we were sitting, it just didn't even look like it was a penalty. There was no movement of the arm towards the ball in any shape or form. I couldn't understand why it was given, and obviously ultimately I picked up a yellow card for asking the linesman why he's given it, and that's as simple as it was. We just couldn't understand it.
On Saturday away at Leiston, we got out of jail. We perhaps didn't deserve the win, but we got the win, and that injury time winner. But today seemed a bit harsh on us, really, given the overall performance. If any team was going to win today, it would have been Tamworth.
Yeah, we looked the most likely from the first whistle. I thought the boys went, straight at Hednesford, and Jordan Clement got on the ball quite a bit for us. He's had a couple of efforts that didn't go too far wide, but we looked the more likely in the first half. I thought second half Hednesford came into the game, and they had a lot more of the ball. And obviously that was always going to happen, in this searing heat. Obviously tired legs, limbs from playing 2 games in 2 days, it takes its toll. If I'm going to be honest again, like I said, I don't think either team did enough to actually win the game today. I thought the game had 0-0 written all over it. I couldn't see us scoring. I don't think we created any real clear-cut chances today. Like I said, I don't think Jazz has been troubled today either. So, the game looked like it was going to end in stalemate until the penalty decision.
Now, we're 5 games into the league campaign, and you can't judge things too early. Of course, we've had 2 wins, 1 draw, 2 defeats, 7 points on the board. We're certainly not cut adrift from the front runners at this point, but we're not near the bottom either. It's early days.
Yeah, it's still early days. I mean, obviously we've the 2 defeats that we've suffered have both been at home, which isn't the best. But 5 games in, I still don't think we're at full strength yet. Obviously we've got suspensions and injuries, and I believe when those players come back, that will give us an added boost going forward into the games. I'm not going to slate the players, because I thought they put an absolute shift in again today in this searing heat. As I said, same on Saturday again. A game that we didn't deserve to lose, but another one that we didn't deserve to win either.
Now, you've got a couple of training sessions, assuming that there's a session tomorrow evening, being Tuesday, and then Thursdays before the game.
We'll be in Thursday. We'll definitely be in Thursday. I think tomorrow is going to be recovery for the players. They've had these 2 hard games, like I said, in this temperature. I think the boys deserve a little bit of a rest, a bit of a recovery time, and we'll be back in on Thursday, ready for the next one.
And are you clear on what you want to improve within the squad?
Because obviously, we want to make sure we're getting people on the end of those chances in the box. Obviously, you've got to score goals to win games, so that's something that we will look at, and we'll try and you know, make sure in the next games going forward we start to put the ball in the back of the net.
Yeah.
So we've got the creative players to do that. We've already proved that already, and we've got some goal scorers in that changing room. It isn't happening for them at the moment, but I'm sure it will in time.
Okay, well, you mentioned a minute ago, Gary, about not being at full strength yet, so clearly you as managers feel that there's more to come from the players that are out currently injured.
Yeah, because obviously you know, you've got injuries and then the squad is being utilised, and I'm putting some heavy demands on the people that are coming in. They are players that we think are quite capable of doing the job, so we have no fear about playing them. But I have got, you know, some demands, and sometimes, you know, we've got a few young players on the park and stuff like that today, and sometimes there's no you know, substitute for experience. So going forward, obviously, when we get those players back, I think that will stand us in good stead going forward.
Okay, are we edging closer to the likes of Aaron Ford and Joe Magunda, Greg Casaboni coming back to the fore?
As you could see today before the game, Ford and Magunda were on the pitch warming up, going through their rehabilitation. Ford's had his cast off now, he's up and running. We may have to be a little bit careful with him over the next week or two, but yeah, he's one that we're looking forward to getting back, and Magunda should be okay for the weekend, and maybe Greg Casaboni as well.
Okay, and just one final point, if I may. A couple of fans have actually asked me about Charlie Shaw, and they've maybe missed out on previous comments, and he's been told that he's got to have an operation on his right knee.
Charlie Shaw, at the beginning of pre-season, he came back with this injury, an old injury, done a bit of rehab work, and we thought he'd be okay, but obviously we've had to send Charlie off for a scan, and the results have come back, and he needs an operation to rectify the problems. So that may write off Charlie for the rest of this season. Depends on how quick he heals after the operation, because there's no given date for it as yet. But until such time, you know, that's all I can tell you, Kev.
Okay, that's wonderful. Thank you very much for your time, Gary.
No probs.
Speak to you again soon.
Cheers, thanks.